So we've been talking about traveling with your concealed carry through various states. Now, as I've said many times before, almost 30 states in the United States are constitutional carry at this point. As soon as North Carolina passes theirs, it will be 30. It's currently 29. Now, if you are in one of those constitutional carry states, you're free to go. I mean, you are able to carry either concealed, open, whatever the case may be. You are pretty much legal to carry anywhere you want to go that you are legally allowed to be, and it's not one of the big five. But there's a problem there. Because even if you are properly licensed and trained and you have a CCW license from your given state or municipality, whatever the case may be, depending on which state you're in, you could actually still be subject to their self-defense laws. Because why do we carry a gun in the first place? Because if the moment comes, we want to be able to meet force with force and to defend both yourself, your loved ones, people around you, your property, someone else's property, all that good stuff, and be able to use force up to and including lethal force to do so. Unfortunately, not every state is as lenient as Missouri and other states when it comes to actual self-defense laws. Now, for instance, here in Missouri, we have Stand Your Ground, Make My Day, and Castle Doctrine laws. You're pretty much free and clear to defend yourself in a deadly situation with deadly force, with very, very few exceptions, honestly. There's been a couple of cases, like there was one in, well, I forget the kid's name, but he was shot by an old man in his home because the old man thought that this kid in question was trying to break into his house. The old man wound up going to prison. It was a whole debacle. But for the most part, if you are in legitimate fear for your life or fear for someone else's life, you're free and clear in a state like Missouri. However, if you are in a state that has more restrictive self-defense laws, say there's a little more scrutiny there as to, oh, you could have run away or you could have de-escalated. Did you really have to kill this person? Did you really have to do this, that, and the other? If you're in a very horrible state, like someplace like New Jersey or Washington, D.C., those really don't count because those don't allow carry to begin with. But those are currently the only two places in the United States that I'm aware of that currently have a duty to retreat law, meaning that no matter what the circumstances, unless you are literally backed into a corner and there is no other possible means for you to escape, you are required to flee from whatever this threat may be and abandon whoever is around you in doing so. Meaning if you are in your home, yes, even in your home, and your wife and children are in the corner right next to you screaming for you to save them, Mr. Bad Guy is walking in with a loaded shotgun screaming about all the terrible things he intends to do to you and your family. If there's a window next to you, you are legally required to jump out said window. I'm not kidding. That is the law in those places. Now, most states are a lot more lax than that, but this is another point of research, guys. Before you carry into another state, make sure you know that not only the carry laws, but the self-defense laws, because sometimes the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. It's not really worth taking the risk of carrying your gun into a state where you're not really allowed to defend yourself and others to begin with, and in fact, I would question even going to those places in the first place. This is why you stay informed, stay armed, and stay frosty, my friends.